What's going on, Internet? I'm Christopher Peterson, and you're listening to a Nerd EXP interview. I'm hanging out with Jonathan Egbert,
Hello.
project manager for Hangar Games, currently working on Grid Masters. How are you
Right.
doing, Jonathan?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Doing great. We met at MomoCon just this past weekend. I got a chance to play the game. Grid Masters looks to have a good kind of fluid movement about it. I think it captures a good couch co-op experience. Co-op if you're on the same team, but competitive experience. I think it, kind of a brawler type beat up your friend, from yesteryear. But I don't know. Like,
Right.
how do you feel the game was received on the show floor?
It was actually received very well. We had a lot of people who would even like shout across the room, "Oh, that looks like MegaMan Battle Network! I'm so excited to play this." And we had a lot of people play it and really enjoy it. So we got a lot of great user feedback too. So
Good. So for people who don't know, who may be just watching it or following the links, how do you describe Grid Masters?
so the way I like to describe it is it's a game that combines the fast-paced action of a fighter with the strategic positioning of battling on a grid. So um, that's a nice short little sweet sentence thing for it. It's very fast-paced and it's very much focused on go in, play a match, finish that match, go in, pick new characters, go and play another. A lot like Super Smash Brothers. So
Yeah, when I had a chance to play it, there was barely any load times. The matches queued up pretty quickly, and we went back and forth. One thing I would say, not to spring this on you, but felt like I had a
yeah.
lot of health. Is
Oh yeah.
that was that kind of modified so people could get more time playing it? I mean, how close is this? Was the MomoCon experience to the final product?
We still have quite a lot of tweaking to do. We're not planning on releasing till December, so we're looking for a lot of feedback on our beta. One of the things we want to have available is like the ability to change the amount of lives that each character has. So you could maybe even drop that down to like 2 lives on each, for each character, or even 1 life if you really wanted to, and just have a like quick to the death match. But we're still tweaking damage values and stuff as well. On Friday, we actually had to make tweaks, because we had, a 6-year-old kid come in and break our game, which is wonderful because it helps us improve it. But he found out that one of our characters had a really broken ability that would just completely destroy other characters. So, we had to reduce some damage values, and that may have caused games to last a little bit longer. But yeah, we're always open to feedback. So,
How can people kind of give you that feedback? What's the best method?
very soon we're going to have a feedback button / area in our game. We don't have that in yet, but right now, at the moment, they can send an email to support@angryhanger.com, and that'll get straight to someone on our team, and we'll pass that around to the person who needs it.
Sounds great. Sounds like you guys are definitely responsive, kind of on the fly. I know that you have a beta available right now on Steam. How are people responding to that? What's kind of the user feedback that you guys are getting?
We're actually still on Greenlight, so the beta isn't on the Steam store yet. So Greenlight is basically an area where people can go in and vote on which games they want to be able to be sold through the Steam store. But we've gotten a lot of the feedback is excitement about seeing a game that's a lot like MegaMan Battle Network, because the MegaMan Battle Network games haven't been made in a long time, and so there's a huge community of people who love to play those games, but they haven't had anything new or anything like that in quite a while. So there's a lot of excitement that we're seeing.
Are there any other games that you kind of look to for inspiration besides Mega Man Battle Network?
Well, Super Smash Bros. For one, because that experience is go into a match, play around with settings and stuff like that, or before the match, But, once you get in, you have a battle, it's nice and quick, and then you go out and choose different characters and go back into a new battle. And we really like all the tweaks they add into it, like the slow-mo mode and all that fun stuff. So we want to try and incorporate different game modes like that into our game. That will make it more fun to play. But also we take influence from MOBAs in a way, because we're going the different characters with different abilities and different play styles that have cooldowns on their abilities. So it's a lot like a MOBA in your character selection, because each one has its own sort of like story, because we also have lore up on our website. So each character is unique and has their own like background and abilities and stuff.
That sounds interesting. How much does the lore play into the story or the gameplay, or is this more kind of like a fighter where backstory doesn't matter, just pick who you want and have at it?
This is more like a fighter, just to kind of introduce the characters that we have in our universe. The next game we actually have planned and lined up is a side scroller beat 'em up, where story will play a much greater role. And we're planning on pulling a few characters from this game into being major roles in that next game. So at the moment, the lore is just kind of for those who like lore and like, seeing the background of all these characters. But when our next game comes out, the lore will play a much greater role.
So, what is kind of the overall goal? Like, do you think that this will be a series? Are you guys planning on using these characters throughout multiple different genres and types of games?
We plan on expanding on the world that we have now. In our future games, not every game is going to use our current world, because we're going to want to create new IPs eventually and have different things that explore different game types, I guess.
Sounds good. No, I didn't mean to put you in a corner. And I apologize
That's
before
fine.
when I said the beta was on Steam. It's actually on your Kickstarter page.
Right. It's downloadable from our website at this point in time. If we get green light, then we will throw it up on Steam for an early access type thing. So we're just waiting for those votes and for Valve to grace us and allow us to sell on their store.
So not to be kind of somber about it, but you guys are, 9 days left in your Kickstarter. Do you have plans, or what's the, kind of contingency plan if you guys don't receive the funding?
So yeah, we do only have 9 days left in our Kickstarter. We're 10% or close to 10% of our goal. If we do not make our Kickstarter goal, it will just slow down development on the game. That's really the only thing that's going to happen. We already have about half of our members at the moment are doing this as a part-time thing. So they're going to keep doing this as a part-time thing. And the ones of us who have been working on it full-time, I personally will have to go get a job, because I've been working on this for 6 months with no pay. And there are bills. Bills are a thing. But we will absolutely keep this project going. None of us have any plans on stopping this or anything like that. So the only thing that will happen is it'll slow down development. And if we fail now, we will probably try again later, when we have a larger community, when we've gotten more visibility, and done more interviews, and when our name is out there more. And hopefully at that point the Kickstarter will be successful, or we've gotten on Steam and can start getting some income that way.
Yeah, definitely appreciate the honesty, and it's good to hear that coming out of MomoCon, you guys did have a good reception from people. I saw a line a couple times that I walked by that Gridmasters is still kind of on target for creation, even if the Kickstarter doesn't come through in the next couple days.
Right. For a lot of us, like, this is something we really want to do. This is waking up in the morning and getting to do this as our jobs every day has been a wonderful experience, because we all really, really are invested in this project. And so it's not going to stop. It's not going anywhere. It'll just be a slower progression, because the people who have been working full time are going to have other responsibilities.
So thank you for that.
Yeah,
So on
sure.
your Kickstarter page, you have 4 characters out and 2 characters kind of hidden that are going to be coming later. Do you already have the design and thought into those guys, or are they still on a chalkboard waiting to be coded?
We don't really have a whole lot for the sixth character yet. We're currently in the works on the fifth. For that character, we're planning sort of a for at least style wise, we're thinking about like a boomerang style attack that will go out and then come back in. And then we're also thinking about doing a type of like teleport movement, if that makes sense. So this character will have a lot more mobility, which will give it an advantage over us. Or it'll be, one of the things that makes this character special is.
Yeah, no, I mean, the 4 characters that were available to play with all felt unique. I felt very comic booky that, you would have these 4 people who looked completely different, but yet they somehow managed to fit together still in this universe and kind of not look jarring side by side.
Right, yeah, and we've been going for kind of a futuristic setting for our game, where it's kind of our world is run by these big nations and even is heavily influenced by these large corporations as well. So we've been trying to set the stage of having this crazy battle arena, I guess, where all of them fight for power to show which state or company has, the largest influence.
So, Angry Hangar Games. What was kind of the reasoning behind that particular name? Where did that kind of come from?
The name took us quite a while. We spent probably 2 or 3 months trying to come up with one, and then got some help from some random name generators online.
I mean, that's definitely honest, and I'm sure some of the names you guys came up with were already taken by some obscure one-man team
right.
12 years ago who never built anything.
The name for Gridmasters took us a while too, because there were a lot of things we wanted to name it that already existed, or somebody already had the rights to that. So
sure, some punk rock band trademarked it and
right,
hasn't done anything with it. So Gridmasters definitely looks like a unique take. It's going to fill a void for those people who are looking for that MegaMan Battle Network experience. What's kind of your guys' design philosophy when going into this?
So one of the things we really like to focus on is iterations. Nothing is ever truly finished, so we always keep coming back to the things that we're working on. All of the characters we have right now have gone through so many iterations of trying to get them to a point where they feel like all of their abilities align with each other and all of their abilities make sense and they're not too like overpowered or have a moveset that would make them advantageous in every situation. So we really like to come back and look at things that we've already finished, and reevaluate them and see how we can make them better. We do also care a lot about user feedback and have gotten tons of it from MomoCon. So we're working hard at getting all of that stuff, looking at it and seeing what would actually make sense in game and what things we need to fix from the feedback we've gotten. And as far as our code goes, we try and keep our code small and readable and modular so that when we need to change something in the future, it's not difficult. We can go back and we already have a system in place for making those changes without it breaking everything else that we've been working on. So that's pretty much it.
It sounds like you just need to bring a bunch of 6-year-olds on to make sure nothing's broken.
Right.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Just out of curiosity, is this Angry Hangar's first game ever? Like, have you guys developed anything that you kind of just kept for yourselves, or?
This is actually our first game ever as a company. We've had a lot of people in the company work on a lot of different titles. But as a company, the new grouping that we have, this is the first one that the company is putting out. We do have a few of our members who have worked on a couple indie titles that have won awards, from Indie Bits and Scad Echelici. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but those are both like game jam type things, I believe. So yeah, we've had several commercial releases from members of our group as well. It's just together as Angry Hangar, this is our first game.
No, I mean, Capcom had to start somewhere. Square Enix started somewhere. I think you guys are off to a good start. It sounds like people are clicking with it who get in there and just jump in, which seems to be the best way to play it. Are you going to be on the road traveling after MomoCon, or was that kind of the first public display for a while?
That was our first display for a bit. We're still looking at other cons around us. We haven't decided on any of them yet. We'll hopefully get around to a couple of tournaments too. We would really like to get our game, in the competitive space, because we feel like it could be a fairly competitive game, just like Super Smash Brothers and other fighters like Mortal Kombat. I believe at MomoCon, the Microsoft booth had a Mortal Kombat X tournament over the weekend. So we would really like to do some more tournaments. We did our first one at MomoCon, and that was really cool to run and be there and watch the competitive play. We actually, the guy who won our competition or our tournament, used our most difficult to learn character. And that was really cool to see that someone was already figuring out strategy and figuring out how the harder characters work in our game. So
I saw Justin Wong at MomoCon. It wasn't him, was it?
No, it was not.
Because that would seem like a ringer. That would seem a little
right.
Well, definitely got to hear it. If you're out there listening to this and you're interested, check out angryhanger.com. The beta is available there. Go to their Kickstarter if you are listening to this by the next 9 days, and I'm bad at math, June 13th, and check it out and donate to that goal. So that way Jonathan can still continue working on this and doesn't have to get a real job.
Yeah, I would love to do that. We have our early bird special still, which is $5 right now. So that's 6 characters and 4 levels when it releases in December. It's like a Subway sandwich. I think it's a pretty good deal. But yeah.
So anything else that you would like to call out?
Just look around for us on the internet. We're trying to get more people playing our game and giving us feedback. So we would love to hear from you if you think something's horribly broken, or would like to even give us input on like a character design idea or something like that. We're always looking for feedback. So
like Jonathan said, check it out. Beta is free right now. Let them know if it's broken. If you liked it, let them know. If you didn't like it, let them know and see what can be improved upon it.
Right.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem.
And thank you out there for listening. I hoped that you enjoyed this interview and that we were able to help you with your Grid Masters IQ. Level up, friends.